The record for the most consecutive UFC wins in a row might be broken next weekend by Islam Makhachev. Currently, Islam and Anderson Silva have 16 consecutive wins, but when you compare Islam to Anderson's win streak, to his story, to the legacies, they both are very different stories, and so the number alone is a little misleading. Islam Makhachev, on the other hand, had 12 fights in the UFC before he even got the opportunity to fight for the belt. He had 11 wins, he had 1 loss, he had a win streak of 10 before he even got the opportunity. So Anderson Silva starts his UFC reign in his second fight. So that means he's operating at a championship level right off the bat, whereas Islam had to fight his way to the top. Very different stories. So after Anderson gets the belt, he successfully defends that belt 10 times. So a total of 11 title fight victories over the course of about 6 years. And on top of that, while he is defending his middleweight reign, he's going up to light heavyweight and messing up people up there too. And the fans, of course, fall in love with him because out of those 16 victories, 14 of them were by finish. Now, Islam's climb looked very differently. He entered the UFC and almost immediately gets knocked out. It's his first or his second fight. Gets knocked out. His win streak began after that. It took him 10 consecutive victories after that point, and you're seeing some decisions. You're obviously seeing wrestling, which some fans hate, some fans love, but you're not getting the same TKO fan favorite style as you had with Anderson. But on his 13th appearance in the UFC, Islam finally gets the chance to go up against Charles Oliveira. Now keep in mind, Charles had just gone through Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje to get there. So Charles is on fire at this point. And then, of course, you have the 2 Volkanovski fights. The first one, very competitive. I remember talking to my buddy about this, and he's like, dude, if you win a fight, if you're just holding on to someone grappling, I don't know, man. Volk won that fight. I remember the fight was Islam was holding on to him, holding on to his back, and he did not win any fans that way. He was just holding on to Volk. But Volk, man, he was rallying the crowd around him. It was taking place in Australia. The crowd was behind him. He was punching behind his head at Islam. That fight won Volk a lot of fans, because though he lost the fight technically, it showed the fighter's spirit. Islam would win back against Volkanovski, and Volkanovski, what a guy to win against. I mean, one of the greatest of all time in featherweight. And then a fight I remember very well. I'm a big Dustin Poirier fan, if you can't tell. I remember watching this fight and being like, man, this is gonna be crazy. I don't know, it's hard to imagine someone taking down Makhachev, somebody handling the wrestling. I remember the moment when Islam grabbed the ankle of Dustin, and boy, he didn't let that ankle go. He yanked on that ankle until he got Dustin to fall to the ground, and it was over from there. But I will say, Dustin Poirier literally left a mark on Islam Makhachev's forehead that's there to this day. He left his mark, and might I say, one of the most difficult fights that Islam went through. Islam himself said that was a difficult fight. He had a lot of respect for Dustin after that fight because that was very close. Dustin put up a big, difficult fight. It did not look easy for Islam during that fight, but Islam is just top tier. He finally gets that victory, and then just runs through Renato Moicano. That was a last-minute thing. I can't recall. I think it was Arman that was supposed to be fighting, and then Arman messed. I don't remember. I think it was Arman, and he tweaked his back or something, so Renato had to step in on a few minutes' notice, and we all knew how that fight was going. There was nothing stopping Makhachev on that night. I mean, I think round 1 ran through him in like a minute or two submission. And then the big moment that he goes up to welterweight. Now, here is where, even as dominant as Islam is, if you go back to Israel Adesanya, on fire in the same way Islam is, just running through everyone, doing so well, on fire, goes up to light heavyweight, could not make it happen. So you're like, man, it is not an easy thing to go up a weight class, especially up 15 pounds, going up from lightweight to welterweight is 15 pounds. It's no small thing, but he goes up there. We're all sold on this idea of Islam Makhachev going up a weight class. Can he be as dominant in a heavier weight class? Boy, he mops the floor with Jack Della Maddalena, and you can see the look of discouragement on Jack's face. Just totally dumbfounded, could not figure it out. Now, you may not have won a ton of fans on the Islam side because it was, just constant wrestling. There was no finish that fight, if I remember correctly, but boy, his star power shot, he is just untouchable. He goes up a weight class and makes it look easy. Ultimately, you have 6 title fight victories with Islam. You have 11 with Anderson Silva. So which one is better? Well, people like to do these, oh, which is the GOAT, which is the great, whatever. The number may change next week. It might become 17 for Islam, but which reign is better? Well, it depends on what metric you use. You know, that's what makes this sport so interesting is, you know, I think about the boxing examples where you have boxers that will win against guys that, you know, they're paid to lose practically. And I'm not at all conflating that with Anderson Silva or Islam Makhachev's rise and victories, but it matters who you get your victory over. It matters how you did it. To some people, they want to see the finish. To some people, they just care about the number. It depends on what you're going in for. And man, MMA's got something for everyone. That's why greatness is so subjective. What metric are you using? You can have more numbers, but who's it against and how did you do it? What did you do to get there? Ultimately, he could break the record, but can you ever break the phenomenal run that Anderson went on? Both are great fighters. Guys, subscribe. I appreciate you watching so much. This channel, just for MMA, the best sport in the world. I bring you as much stuff as I possibly can. My other channel, I've got documentaries. I take a lot of pride in, put a lot of effort into those. It takes a long time to put those out. So go subscribe there, subscribe here. Talk to you soon. Go outside, touch grass, train hard, and kick butt.